Hello, chemists. Miss Beglin here with a demo for the procedure of your end of course lab final part 1. Before you watch this demo, it's for the procedure, so please make sure you have read and annotated the introduction. Let's move on to the procedure. 0. Your hot plate is on and hot, and your metal sample has already been placed on it to warm up. This is my hot plate, this is my metal sample. Record the number of your metal sample in the data table below. So my metal sample is different from all of yours, so my unknowns number is 0. None of you will have unknown number 0. Stack 2 coffee cups and place them inside of a large beaker for stability. So here's my beaker. Here are my 2 stacked coffee cups, and it will sit on my desk like this, nice and stable. Using a graduated cylinder, measure approximately 200 milliliters of water. Record your exact volume of water in the data table below. So you guys are going to be using some pretty large graduated cylinders. This is it. When you record your volume, make sure your graduated cylinder is firmly placed on the desk, and then bring eye level to the water line. These graduated cylinders work in increments of 5, so you're going to estimate your reading to the ones place. So I'm going to estimate that I have 206 milliliters of water. And I'm going to go ahead and record that. Now I'm going to transfer my water to my coffee cup calorimeter. Using the vernier thermometer, determine the initial temperature of the water in the coffee cup calorimeter. Report it in the table below. So this is my vernier lab quest with the temperature probe. The temperature probe is stuck through the lid of the coffee cup. I'm going to make sure my lab quest is on and reading temperature, which it is. I'm going to place my thermometer. And you can see it's reading the temperature. I'm going to record the temperature when it's stabilized. So I'm going to say our initial temperature of water is 22.5 degrees Celsius. Step 5, using the vernier thermometer, determine the initial temperature of the metal sample on the hot plate by laying the temperature probe across the flat top of the metal. The temperature of the metal must be at least 80 degrees Celsius before you proceed. Record the initial temperature of the metal in the data table below. So I'm going to take my temperature probe, wipe it off, and I'm going to lay it across the flat top of my metal like this. My vernier should start to register the temperature. And same thing here, I'm going to wait for it to stabilize before I record the initial temperature. Sorry about the glare on the vernier. Still climbing pretty quickly. Still climbing. Okay, it looks like it's stabilized at 53.3 degrees Celsius. I know the procedure says it must be 80 degrees. 50 still fine. So the procedure says that it must be at least 80 degrees Celsius before you proceed. For the sake of time, I'm going to record my initial temperature as is, but you should wait until your temperature gets to at least 80 degrees Celsius. Hopefully it'll be there pretty much immediately, because your metal samples will be sitting in the hot plate. Okay, so my initial temperature is still climbing. Sorry, guys. Gotta wait for it to stabilize. Okay. I'm just gonna wait for it to get up to 80. It's almost there. Sorry, guys. Temperature's still climbing. Okay. I'm gonna say my initial temperature is 97 degrees Celsius. So as you can see, it heats up pretty quickly. Using tongs to transfer the metal into the coffee cup calorimeter. Place the lid on the calorimeter and place the thermometer through it. Use the thermometer to stir the water to facilitate the heat transfer between the metal and the water. Try not to touch the metal to the thermometer, as it will cause the measured temperature to spike. So I'm going to transfer this into my coffee cup calorimeter. Lid goes on. Thermometer goes through. And I'm just going to stir. Record the final temperature of the metal and water once the temperature reading stabilizes. Which it has at 25.1 degrees Celsius. Okay. Remove the metal from the water and dry it off. Once it's been in the water, it's no longer hot. Using the scale, determine its mass, record it in the data table. So turn on my scale, I'm going to determine the mass, and it is 58.0 grams. And that is it for the procedure. By this point, you should have a complete data table. And that's all, folks. Okay.